Welcome to WCW Worldwide. Scott Hudson and Bobby the Tool Man Heenan, make it Bobby the Brain Heenan, right, as we get ready for Fall Brawl, September 17th from Buffalo. Booker T and Kevin Nash, Scott Steiner and Goldberg. Much more about those situations later on. Who is watching the back of Vince Russo? You may be shocked. We'll talk about it later. But, Brain, we start off with the disgusting action of Scott Steiner, a man that should have been locked up and put in a hoosegow.
Well, you know, a lot of people's opinion of Scott Steiner is he should have been put away years ago. But Scott Steiner's doing now what he thinks he has to do. He's going to push Goldberg to the edge. He knows what he has to do to make this man violent, to make this man fight. And he's done it. But be very careful, Mr. Steiner, because you're dealing with somebody that I'm not sure you really know what he's all about. He is extremely dangerous.
Much more about that later on. We've got exclusive worldwide action today here on Worldwide, and for that, we send it to our broadcast colleagues, Mike Tenay and Tony Schiavone.
Tony, it's another exciting week of WCW Worldwide. It's 3 exclusive matchups, including 2 title bouts.
Going to see Elix Skipper defend his cruiserweight or 100 kilos and under championship later on in this telecast, the World Tag Team title. And the former champions are here, Mike, and you know they are men on a mission. We're talking about Adams and Clark Chronic. We'll see them in tag team action later on this week.
And speaking of tag teams, now let's go to the team that gets a shot at the World Tag Team titles. It's 3 count, and they're standing by with Mean Gene Okerlund.
Thank you, Mike. Today, still to come here on Worldwide, 3 count will challenge the WCW World Tag Team Champions, Juventud Guerrera and Rey Mysterio Jr. Before I talk about that, gentlemen, Evan Courageous, a subject that comes to mind, one that has to be addressed, the name Tank Abbott.
Well, Gene, Tank Abbott was an obsessed fan that tried to cross us, and that's what separates the 3 count and the boy bands. Once you cross us, we will snap, crackle, and pop
Whoa, just a second here. Shane, we know that only 2 out of the 3 can wrestle. How do you guys determine which 2? What do? Draw straws?
Some people draw straws, some people flip coins. 3 count, we flip gold records. Why? Because we're WCW's best performers, both in and out of the ring.
Very confident indeed. Now then, Shannon, a golden opportunity for the 3 of you as you face the WCW Tag Team Champions.
Gene, it goes like this. This week after the show, 3 count will leave as your new tag team champions because we're going to show Ray and Hoovy, just like we showed Tank, that everybody goes down for the 3 count.
Well, thank you, boys. That's wonderful and wonderful. I'm just kidding. That's a different era. Thank you. 3 counts still to come. That big tag team bout, Michael. Back to the arena and you, my friend.
And thanks very much, Gene. Yes, it is a big opportunity for the tag team of 3 count. Shannon Moore, Shane Helms, they get their chance at the World Tag Team titles, but you know, Tony, 3 count has certainly had their problems of late with Tank Abbott.
They really have, and besides those problems with Tank Abbott, these 3 guys still think they can sing. It's going to be 3 of them out of here. 2 will be in the ring, but let's not forget on the other side, the World Tag Team Champions, Mike the Filthy Animals, have more than just 2 guys, Ray and Hoovy. There's Disco, there's Conan, there's Tigress. They bring a lot of people out to the ring as well.
Certainly will be strength in numbers, but for now, let's send it back to the studio. Take it, guys.
Back on Worldwide, it's time for AskWCW.com. Is that good soup? Point your browser to WCW.com, find the Worldwide link, send us your question via email if we use it on the air, and if you send us your snail mail address, we will send you a WCW t-shirt. And this week's question, once again, it's the computer that you got for us last week. What is up with that?
Give it to me here.
Oh, again. Remember what happened last time?
Well, you've got to hit the...
Oh!
Oh, no. See, what you got to do here is the vertebrator valve here.
Can we get a terry cloth towel, please?
Well, ask him the question.
The what?
Terry curvator right here.
Oh.
The man shifter. It has to go over back here by your mouse, you know.
All right, let's see.
We'll get it fixed.
Do you mind?
We'll get it fixed. That's okay. Ask the question.
All right, if I can read through this. Looks like the question is for Terry Taylor. How does working behind the scenes compare to being in the ring, and do you miss being a full-time wrestler? It comes from Devin Cutting in Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. Here's your answer, Devin, from Terry Taylor.
You need a windshield wiper for that thing.
I need a mop.
It's a pretty loaded question. The greatest feeling in the world is being out there in front of the people, having them cheer or boo or whatever the emotion is. I mean, there's no rush like that. And I could also say that about being in the office and being behind the scenes, because with the hectic schedule and the travel and the personalities in the back and live television, anything can happen. So I've traded one adrenaline rush for the other. So it's not the same. It's not different. I'm very comfortable with what I've done and where I am.
Devin, there's your answer from Terry Taylor. Interesting stuff from the man who is at the head of the WCW Executive Committee. And I'll tell you, what are you doing?
Cleaning up. You're a mess.
My mess.
You brought that thing over here. You ruined a good $30 computer now, you deadbeat.
$30. That was AskWCW.com. And now we give you exclusive footage from WCW Nitro. You all right? This footage brought to you by Wendy's Mozzarella Chicken Supreme. It's so good, you can't think of anything else. Speaking of thinking of something else, Vince Russo may want to rethink what he did on a recent edition of Nitro.
We on?
And thanks very much, guys. Exclusive matchup time here on WCW Worldwide, and an opportunity for a tag team bout. The team of Brian McNeil and Corey Williams to face Clark and Adams. BA and BC. Brian Clark, Brian Adams, a devastating duel by the name of Chronic, the former tag team title holders, Tony.
I wonder what goes through a team's mind, be it a veteran team or a young team like we're seeing right here of McNeil and Williams. What goes through their mind, Mike, when they know they got to go in the ring, when they see their name across the way from Chronic. Listen to the reaction of the fans. This is one of the most dominant teams we have seen in many, many years in sports entertainment.
Well, I would think for a team like McNeil and Williams, who are trying to make their names in WCW, there has to be fear in their hearts when you take a look at the size of Chronic and when you keep in mind just how dominant a force they have been in World Championship Wrestling over the course of the past couple of months. One thing that they don't have, though, at this point in time, that they certainly want to regain, and that's the World Tag Team Championship belts.
We have a lot of interesting things going down the next couple of weeks leading into the month of September. On the 11th of September on Monday Nitro, we're going to have a wedding. David Flair to wed Miss Hancock on Monday Nitro, originating from Charlotte.
September the 11th?
In the Independence Arena. How about that? And then, of course, 6 days later, it's a fall brawl from the HSBC Arena. Of course, that's in Buffalo. And a lot of people are predicting that's going to be the end of the title reign for Booker T against Kevin Nash. That remains to be seen.
Well, when you think of all the trials and tribulations that Booker T has had, and the fact that he has to face the number one contender, Kevin Nash, and you also have to keep in mind the fact that Booker T has not backed up from any of the challenges. But look at the size advantage, the power advantage that Kevin Nash is going to bring into Buffalo in Fall Brawl, where it's going to be the bookend versus the Jackknife Powerbomb. Who walks out of Buffalo with the World's Heavyweight Championship belt?
Or who walks out of Buffalo? Chronic, of course, they are not the World Tag Team Champions right now. The World Tag Team titles reside with the Filthy Animals. Chronic making their way back, of course, and they had to contend with the Harris brothers as well. But you're looking at raw power right now, Mike.
And maybe Corey Williams drew the short straw when he and Brian McNeil decided who was going to start this matchup. Brian Clark in the corner with a knife edge chop that took Corey Williams off of his feet, has him dancing in the corner. Talked about that raw power. We see it here in the early going before Corey Williams is able to finesse him down with a dropkick. Hook of the leg, barely even a 1 count from referee Jamie Tucker, and now Williams sends him off into the ropes. Committed himself. That was his mistake. The inexperience of Williams going into the air, and big Brian Clark countering by driving him down to the canvas powerbomb style.
The inexperience, Mike, is the fact that he tried the high-risk maneuvers, sending Clark into the ropes. For Corey Williams to be successful, you got to get him off his feet. That's basic strategy with a big man.
Check out this double team move. Clark takes Williams, puts him up on the shoulder of Brian Adams, who comes off the middle rope and drives him down to the mat. 1, 2, and in for the save is McNeil.
And then McNeil quickly gets out. Not a bad move at all to hit and run. That's what you got to do.
Oh, yeah. I told you about that short straw. I'm sure that's what it was, because as Williams ascended into the corner, he almost accidentally touched hands with McNeil. Judging by the look on the face of Brian McNeil, he wasn't too excited to get in the ring with Chronic. the ropes. The stop. Oh, and he just took him down with a tremendous belly-to-belly suplex. Very determined, this tag team of Chronic, to regain those World Tag Team Championship belts, and they realize that they need to go through the tag teams here in WCW to work their way back into that contender status. McNeil for the cover, and again, barely a 1 count.
And that may be the one factor, the one attribute that takes them over the top. They've got the power, they got the size, the strength, but if you have the determination, regardless of how powerful you are, you're going to succeed.
Now Adams has the full Nelson applied to McNeil. The question at this point is, what does he do with him? Picks him up and drives him down with the full Nelson slam. Goes for the cover, gets the lateral press, could not hook the leg, and as you see out of the side of the TV screen, Corey Williams is able to come in and make the save, and now Clark joins Adams. All 4 men involved. This is the pump handle from Brian Clark. In the past, we've seen him take him up for the meltdown. Up to the shoulder level, and then down to the mat. The meltdown with great impact and authority. Now Chronic turn their attention with a double team move on Brian McNeil. To the ropes, double shoulder block, and McNeil is down.
It looks like it could be a little high time double team action here.
Certainly what the crowd wants, and certainly what Chronic is about to deliver. Brian McNeil going up, and Brian McNeil down with the high time. Adams, the hook of the leg, shoulders are down, and there's the 3 count.
I don't think there was a man, woman, or child in this arena that thought that Chronic would lose this match.
And we will be back with more after this on WCW Worldwide. And welcome back, everyone. The first of 2 exclusive championship matchups this week on WCW Worldwide. This is a young man, Tony, that we certainly have been very impressed with, especially here on this worldwide program. And Chris Harris has obviously drawn the attention of the matchmaking committee, the executive committee here in World Championship Wrestling that decides challengers for title bouts, because they have determined that Chris Harris is due a shot at the, well, whether you call it the Cruiserweight title, or whether you put the Lance Storm spin on things and call it the 100 kilos and under championship belt. That's the title that he challenges for against this man, Elix Skipper. Prime time, Elix Skipper.
Prime time, Elix Skipper. You know what? I like Chris Harris. I think it's very logical that the matchmakers give Harris a title shot. Maybe in the weeks to come we'll see him on a Thunder or WCW Monday Nitro. But right now, I want to tell you this. This is probably the greatest champion ever to be given a title. Elix Skipper did not earn the title. He was handed this Cruiserweight title by Lance Storm when we were in Canada recently. But the man is a good performer, and I bet you he's going to hold on to this 100-kilo title for a long, long time.
From the primary forces in this Team Canada alignment of Lance Storm and company, and Elix Skipper, and yes, he was handed the championship belt on a silver platter, but Tony, you can't deny that since gaining that title, he's been a fighting champion. He's been able to retain it against some of the top cruiserweights or 100-kilo and under competitors in the world today. But of course, many people would point out the use of that Grey Cup ring that Elix Skipper loves to employ to knock out his opponents.
Great turnaround that time by Harris into a hammerlock. Mike, you follow all types of sports. Mark Madden claims on our Nitro broadcast that Elix Skipper played for the Rough Riders.
Yeah, what Rough Riders? Every team in the CFL is named the Rough Riders, aren't they?
Yeah, I think you and I will both agree that he didn't play in the CFL.
Not to my knowledge he didn't, and when do you start believing Madden about anything?
That's a real good point.
Yeah, never refer to Madden as your reference source. To the ropes, and Chris Harris just leveled Elix Skipper, putting all of his weight behind it with the shoulder block, and then the running clothesline. A great follow-up move takes him up and over and down to the arena floor.
What you need to do now is follow that up. Don't parade around the ring. Jump right down and get on Elix Skipper, because what he's doing, he had some momentum right there, Mike, but now basically he's kind of lost it because he's heeding the words of the referee.
Skipper slow to get to his feet. Harris goes for a slingshot move, using the top rope to propel himself up and over the top, and then out of the mount rains in a series of punches to the top of the head of the 100 kilos and under title holder. Now out on the arena floor, look out. Ring announcer Dave Penzer, fortunately for himself, moves out of the way at the last split second as Chris Harris sends Skipper face first into that steel guardrail. And Elix Skipper, primetime Elix Skipper, having a difficult time getting untracked and getting going in this title bout against Chris Harris. He's going to need to turn it on. Maybe that shoulder block from the outside is a start. Oh, wow. Beautiful. Snapped off that head scissors.
I think Skipper's greatest attribute is his leg strength. You can't really see the muscle definition. Watch, here's the cover.
Off the belly to belly. Hook of the leg and a 2 count from referee Billy Silverman. Well, we see that leg strength combined with the agility, the ability to walk the top rope. Cat-like quickness up to the top. Connected with the missile drop kick.
He also wrestled with Air Jordans on. Not many do that, Mike.
It's part of being prime time, I think.
I guess it is.
Goes for the cover, gets 1, 2, and didn't quite have Chris Harris worn down enough to gain the 3 count that time. Harris still has something left in the tank, and he was able to kick out, but Skipper follows up by putting the boots to him. Putting the Air Jordans to him.
I guess that's what he's doing. What I want to say about the leg strength is because he has the sweatpants or the long tights on, so to speak, that you go, wow. You can't see the leg strength, the definition with the quadriceps and the calves, but he's very powerful in his legs, and that's his number one attribute, using the leg strength.
Excellent recovery by Harris, trying to mount a comeback. Quickly cut off by Skipper. Wow. Look at that move. All about avoiding your opponent, and when Chris Harris strung off the middle ropes, Elix Skipper was just able to bend over back in a very unique maneuver. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before to avoid the contact.
He's the only one that uses it, I can tell you that, and he's very effective with it.
Now in the corner, just measuring Chris Harris. Series of right hands. Skipper sets him up. The deep arm drag out of the corner. You can see the effect there as Harris holds onto the elbow, and a 2 count from Skipper. Almost trying to pull the arm right out of his socket, and back to the basics now for Elix Skipper with the reverse chin lock.
Team Canada one down in the roster column with Carl Ouellette and his work visa that I guess the Cat had something to do with. But
the Cat rescinded it, didn't he?
I believe he did, but you know as well as I do that Lance Storm and Elix Skipper, and if and when Ouellette comes back, it's going to be really tough running for a lot of the USA athletes here in WCW.
The southpaw Harris fires in those punches in the corner, sends Skipper off, but then runs face first into the boot. Skipper with a clothesline. Both men now miss the clothesline. And spinning neck breaker by Harris. Needs to go for the pin attempt here to get that title.
It was a good execution. What happened on that spinning neck breaker was that Skipper hit every bit as hard to the mat as Harris did, and that's why Skipper cannot really make a cover now.
Fans firmly showing their support for the challenger. Chris Harris able to duck the move from Skipper. Pair of left hands rocks him. Sends him off into the ropes. Up into the air. The inverted atomic drop. And quickly follows up that move. Going to take him up suplex. The high vertical. And crashing down to the mat.
Tell you what, Mike, Chris Harris can win this thing. He just needs to get with it.
Another high-risk move on the way. Let's see if he can hit this with the same impact. Off the top rope, Chris Harris goes airborne. He hit the crossbody. Got 1, 2, and no.
Whoa, that was a close one, and Harris thought he had won it.
On the verge of a new cruiserweight, 100 kilos and under champion, Chris Harris just comes up that much short. Another left hand rocks Skipper. Harris goes to send him off into the ropes. Skipper doubled him over. Oh, turn him around with that overdrive move. Goes for the cover and the 3 count.
Well, once again, he used the power of his legs to get the win with that overdrive maneuver. He's quite an athlete.
Skipper remains 100 kilos and under champ. Let's send it back to the studio for an update on the Fall Brawl lineup.
Thanks a lot, Mike. And don't forget, it's September 17th. You got it exactly right. Fall Brawl 2000 from Buffalo. 2 huge matches signed thus far, Brain. World Heavyweight Championship. Booker T takes on Kevin Nash. Will Booker T be at 100%?
No, he's not at 100%. He never will be at 100% unless he rests his body and takes time off. Then he won't be at 100%. Even then, this man has taken a heck of a beating. Being the world champion, he should realize, take some time off, relax, enjoy life. But no, he's doing it for the fans. So yeah, he's going to take a heck of a beating.
Scott Steiner and Goldberg will tie it up at Fall Brawl 2000. Is anyone capable, Vince Russo or anybody, capable of controlling these two maniacs?
I don't think so, and I think by bell time, Russo's going to come up with something that's going to shock Goldberg. Goldberg better be ready. He better be ready for the fight of his life. And I'll tell you something else. Steiner is always ready. He's a very, very dangerous man. There's nothing more you can say. He's just so dangerous.
Dish Network, DirecTV, pay-per-view, you name it, you can get it on September 17th. It's Fall Brawl 2000. Nash and Booker for the world title. Steiner and Goldberg finally for once and for all. When we come back on Worldwide, the World Tag Team titles at stake. The Animals and 3 Count are next.
Welcome back, everyone. World Tag Team title matchup. The championship belts are on the line this week on WCW Worldwide. And here comes a team by the name of 3 Count. Tony, well, they've impressed some people with their singing, but they've certainly impressed me much more with their in-ring wrestling ability. And they get a shot at the Filthy Animals and the tag team belts.
They told Gene Okerlund earlier in this telecast that they flip a gold record to see who the 2-man will be going in the ring for the World Tag Team title. But what about the problems they're having with Tank Abbott? Tank Abbott apparently fancies himself as a stinger as well, and now the alliance that was Tank Abbott and 3 Count has split completely up.
Yeah, that grouping of Tank Abbott with 3 Count is a thing of the past. It's history. And here come the World Tag Team Champions, the Filthy Animals, to be represented in-ring by Rey Mysterio Jr. and the Youth Warrior Juventud Guerrera, accompanied by the outrageously lovely Tigress. And I even hear that K-Dog, Conan, is once again going to join us here at the broadcast position. And I know that you love it when Conan is here to give us words of wisdom about the luchadors, about the Filthy Animals.
It's always great to have Conan on the stick with us. Always adds something very colorful, insightful into the matches. And the World Tag Team Champions, I want to tell you right now, I got to be honest with you, Juventud and Ray Jr. looking better than ever.
Hey, well, you know, I'm glad to be back here. You know, Tony and Mike, and yeah, you know, when they're at 100%, they're probably the best. And you got to remember, Ray and Juvi's been the lightweight champion in Mexico, the welterweight champion, tag champion with his father, Fuego Guerrera. Ray's been the lightweight champion, the welterweight tag champion with me, and trio champion. So there's a wealth of experience on their side.
And of course, right here in World Championship Wrestling, both Rey Mysterio Jr. and Juventud Guerrera with multiple reigns as the WCW Cruiserweight title holder.
Yeah, so anything, I think if, you know, 3 Count, which has a very good team and a style similar to Ray and Juvi's, if anything, this is a learning process for them, and they could very well come out with a victory here.
Well, you're talking about that experience edge going to your group, the Filthy Animals, because they have all of that title match experience under their belt, something that 3 Count really has not had the chance to have.
Right, and as you know, there's no substitute for experience, but more than anything, what we're going to see in this match is a lot of creative moves, like right there, you know, just a lot of enthusiasm, and just 4 guys who are bringing wrestling, especially high-flying wrestling, to the next level.
Of course, it's easier to sing the praise of the Filthy Animals when Disco's not out here as well.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
That is a bonus.
Well, you know, like I said before, somebody's got to pay for our taxis and for our costumes, and Disco's the man. Oh.
Double team move by Shannon Moore and Shane Helms on Rey Mysterio Jr. as Shane Helms goes to celebrate.
And beautiful reverse neckbreaker off the shoulder, which is an innovative move which these guys came up with.
And it may have been that inexperience when he went to celebrate instead of going for the pin on Ray Jr. that hurt him.
Well, that's youth and enthusiasm. You know, when you do a big move like that, you hear the crowd pop, you get happy, and you forget about, you know, covering the man. Mysterio
ducks the clothesline. Helms takes him instead. A boot to the midsection, then connects with a powerbomb. Wow. Here's the double team moves. Shannon Moore airborne. And again, Shannon Moore quickly back out to the ring apron. Helms to the cover, and here comes Juvi in to break things up.
I think one of the problems that we have had is that we've been injured so much this year because of the high-flying nature of our matches. Juvi with elbow operation, myself with a tricep operation, Ray with his third knee operation. Right. Of course, you see out here Evan, who dislocated his ankle. That's the price you pay for this high-flying style, but look at the people. They love it.
Super springboard, that time into the drop kick by Juventud Guerrera, who goes to the corner mount, raining down those right hands into the side of the head of Shane Helms. Also, don't forget, the distraction factor that the animals have with the lovely tigress at ringside.
Of course, that's always going to be something that you got to look out for. But Evan's out here too, so it's equal game right now. Nice.
Somehow,
Nice.
I think we'd be distracted more by tigress.
Oh, definitely.
Who would not?
It's part of that Mexican strategy, isn't it?
Definitely. But Tony, let me ask you a question. Do you think that right now you see a lot of guys who are over 200, 250 pounds trying to emulate some of the stuff Hoovy and Ray does?
Sure, you see a lot of that, but obviously they can't do it as well as these two guys can. I mean, there's no question that yourself, that Juventud, that Rey Mysterio brought a brand new dimension into WCW in the mid-90s when you came in here and really turned us around.
Right, and I think it's changed the face of wrestling forever.
It really has.
It really did. It turned the whole world of sports entertainment around with high-risk inventive.
Whoa!
Just like that one. Juventud went to use the back of Rey Mysterio for a springboard, but he was cut off by Helms, and then more connected from the top.
He did the air Hoovy and got caught in midair, and that just shows that 3 Count's been studying the tapes.
That's exactly right.
Outside on the arena floor, Evan Courageous just sent Mysterio into the safety rail, and now gets ready to... there's a great equalizer.
Don't get in her face.
She's been at the power plant training.
And certainly not afraid to get physically involved. However, double team move by the other members of 3 Count with the suplex by Moore and Helms.
Into a backbreaker, very innovative.
Cover, 2, and Hoovy got the shoulder up.
Very nonchalant cover. I think they know better than that.
Maybe a little too cocky and a little too confident for their own good.
Definitely.
3 Count has to keep in mind that the World Tag Team titles are at stake in this match. Double team move now with Juventud, able to avoid Shannon Moore, and then problems with 3 Count between Moore and Helms. That time they had communication difficulties. Oh, great spin kick by Juventud.
He got off face on that. Now Ray's getting the crowd into it, and that's going to be hard to beat now, because once Ray and Hoovy are motivated, there's no better 2 in the ring.
Important to get the fresh man into the battle.
There he goes,
That's exactly
springboard.
what they did.
Boom.
Springboard into a cross body by Rey Mysterio Jr. Both Moore and Helms are down. Able to duck the first clothesline. Up into the air.
Oh, my
Sugar
goodness.
Shane stopped the momentum of Mysterio. Great powerbomb variation. Now it's up to Shannon Moore. Look at this fake by Mysterio. Problems, however, 3 Count. Up and over the top. Great elevation by Mysterio. Well, Shane Helms is in trouble
Comes the
in the
Bronco
corner.
Buster. Comes the Bronco Buster.
Tigress
Come on, give
is
it to
gonna
him.
do the good.
Stop to the face. Stop to the face. Stop to the face. Stop to the face. He just got stuffed.
He just got stuck. You can't top that description.
No, that's pretty accurate.
Now it's up to Hoovy. Up to his shoulder.
Oh!
Whoa.
Nice.
Took him down, face and chest first to the mat.
How could anybody get up from that?
And now Rey Mysterio out to the ring apron. Quickly up to the top rope. K-Dog, where's he headed?
He's to the groin. He'll be sore for a while. Boom. That's it. That
Off
should
the
be
leg
it.
drop,
2, 3.
and they keep the titles. The Animals remain WCW World Tag Team title holders.
But I predict these guys will be tag team champions one day, and look at Evans paying the price for sticking his nose in there again. We're on a roll right now.
You are on a roll, there's no question, K-Dog. Good to see you here with us.
Oh yeah, the Filthy Animals on a roll with the World Tag Team Championship belts. When we return, more exciting action on Worldwide.
That's going to wrap up this edition of WCW Worldwide. But remember, in 2 weeks, it's Fall Brawl from Buffalo. September 17th, Scott Steiner and Goldberg will finally tie it up. And for the World Heavyweight Championship reign, Booker T defends against Kevin Nash.
And Booker T made a statement that if they want this title from me, you're going to have to rip it from me. You're going to have to tear me apart to get this title. Well, now that Jeff Jarrett has aligned himself along with Kevin Nash, and you know, Russo's in the background there too. This is a very dangerous situation for you, Mr. Booker. You're going to make sure all your parts are well oiled, because you're going to be taken apart real quick.
Booker T doesn't seem like he will be 100%. Will it be the end of the reign of Booker T as world champion come September 17th? We will find out in Buffalo. For Bobby the Brain Heenan, I'm Scott Hudson. We'll see you here next week. More matches announced for Fall Brawl. We'll tell you about it here on WCW Worldwide. Welcome to WCW Worldwide. Scott Hudson and Bobby the Brain Heenan. There is so much news in World Championship Wrestling, and Brain, we start at the top. The situation involving Vince Russo and Bill Goldberg. Now you've got to throw in Bret the Hitman Hart. He is back in World Championship Wrestling, and the question on everyone's lips is this: is Bret Hart part of Vince Russo's orchestra? Is he in the band?
I don't think Karnak could figure out that one. But I'll tell you something. I know Bret Hart for over 20-some years. I know the whole family. I know how this man operates. I know the titles he's held. I know the victories he's held. I know what this man's all about. He's all about himself. He only cares about himself. If he's with Russo in the band, I don't know. If he's for himself, I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing's for sure. He's a very dangerous man. He's just like me. I'm out for myself. You're out for yourself. I've heard you knock Tony and Mike a lot of times. But that's your business if you don't like him. But I'll tell you something. Bret Hart's very, very dangerous because all he cares about is number one.
I have never knocked Tony, Mike, or anybody else. We'll talk about that during the break. We've also got exclusive worldwide action here today on this broadcast. And for a preview, our broadcast colleagues, my very long-time close personal friends, Mike Tenay, Tony Schiavone, and Conan, they're standing by.
You're lying.
It's another intriguing week here on WCW Worldwide. 3 exclusive matchups, Tony, including a female 3-way dance. It's Major Guns, it's Tigress, and Paisley to hook it up.
Seems like to me that Tigress and Paisley have been kind of on the same page, and the culprit on the other end has been Major Guns, but a 3-way dance. We're going to expect just about anything later on this week.
And Conan, an interesting aspect to that 3-way dance, the special referee is going to be Medusa.
Well, you never know who's made secret alliances, what's happening before the matches. You got a lot of young blood. They're getting their chance tonight. And you know what? It's going to be a great night, and it's their turn to show and prove.
And speaking of that young blood in World Championship Wrestling, standing by right now with Mean Gene Okerlund, it's the Young Dragons with Leah Meow. Take it, Gene.
What are you guys doing? Hi.
Go on, just a second. Mike, today, thank you very much. Still to come this week right here on WCW Worldwide, you'll see the Young Dragons in 6-man tag team action. They are joined this week by their lovely manager, Leah Meow. Kaz Hayashi, obviously, this young lady has had an influence on you and your associates. Tell me about it. Okay, it makes sense to me. Now then, Leah Meow, you have a reputation for being very aggressive. Certainly you've got to have some strategy for these 3 young men.
Oh, yes, I do. I plan on making these little boys into men. By the time I'm done with them, they're training.
Well, obviously, they have been paying attention to you.
Hey!
Hey! What is this?
Get up!
What?
Don't you ever
Oh,
do
my
that!
goodness! I would pay attention. Obviously, they have your attention.
They need to pay attention because, see what I just did to him? That's what's going to happen to both you guys if you guys don't listen to me.
It's a little stiff. Thank you very much, Young Dragons. You'll see them later on in tag team action. Thank you, Miss Meow.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Mike, today, let's get back to you.
Wow, what an eye-opener that was. Thanks very much, Gene. Tony, the Young Dragons seem to have leadership and inspiration in their aggressive new manager, Miss Leah Meow.
Where do you sign up to be a member of the Young Dragons now? I wouldn't mind walking with her to ringside. I tell you, she has a definite plan about these 3 young men. And Conan and Mike, you both know that the Young Dragons can go.
And the filthy animals certainly respect the Dragons, K-Dog.
Hey, no doubt about that. They're part of the young blood that I'm always alluding to, and they're going to come out here and show and prove. And, yo, Leah Meow, sometimes I got out of line, and I wouldn't mind you putting me back in line. You know what I mean?
Let's put everybody back into line by sending it back to the studio. Take it, guys.
Welcome back to WCW Worldwide. You know, Brain, we literally get thousands of responses to AskWCW.com every week right here at World Championship Wrestling. All you got to do, point your browser to WCW.com, find the worldwide link, send us your question via email. Make sure you include your snail mail address. If we use your question on this show, we will send you a WCW t-shirt. And this week, our question, is from Andrew Gibson of Huntingtown, Maryland. Andrew's got a question for Jeff Jarrett.
No. The screen's still messed up. It's the horizontal.
The screen's fine.
No, the horizontal focal thing's out of there. See the lines going that way? Give it here.
Brain, look at that.
No. I tell you what we need. Go ahead. Answer the question.
Well, I got to see it, and I can see it fine. Andrew Gibson, Huntington. Wait a minute. Huntingtown, Maryland, has a question for Jeff Jarrett. How long have you been a professional wrestler, and why did you want to become a professional wrestler? It's a great question.
Oh, great question. Must have taken you, 14 seconds to figure out that one?
Andrew, here's the chosen one. Oh!
Careful of that. Uh-oh.
Listen, Andrew. In the year 2000, there's no such word as a professional wrestler. The correct term now is sports entertainer. So get it right next time, Slappy.
There's your answer, Andrew, from the chosen one, Jeff Jarrett. Very interesting answer. Fred, I got a question for you. How long have you been a computer repairman? And what made you want to become a computer repairman?
My life.
Apparently.
Yep, chips are my life.
You have no life.
Fish and chips, right here. See those? Those are confogunators. What they do, they hook it to your therm. You reverse it to the defalcator valve. You hit it 3 times. Ooh. You take it back to where you bought it.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I'll get it fixed.
Next week, obviously,
and screwdriver.
Oh, a new laptop here on the set of Worldwide, I'm
no,
sure.
This thing will be working fine in a minute.
It's time for our 3 exclusive worldwide main events. We send it to our broadcast colleagues. Oh, Mike Tenay, Tony Schiavone, and Conan. No.
Tony and Mike around? I don't think I can finish here.
And thanks very much, guys. It's time for exclusive singles competition here on WCW Worldwide. Mike Rapata makes his way to the ring, and Conan, Mike Rapata, is set to do one-on-one action in this worldwide matchup against 1/6 of the natural-born Thrillers, a young man that we've certainly been impressed with his athleticism to this point. We're talking about Sean O'Hare, and I know the Animals and the Thrillers have been knocking heads as of late.
Well, you know, these Cranberries want to come out here, and they want to take the spotlight, and they haven't paid their dues. And the worst thing they've done is disrespect the Filthy Animals.
That disrespect from the Thrillers has been felt by many people in World Championship Wrestling, not just the Filthy Animals. It even goes as deep as the man that trained them and brought them into the sport, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Absolutely no respect for the veterans of sports entertainment.
Well, I heard that they beat up Paul Orndorff, left him laying in the power plant, and they just have they're ungrateful. They don't care about anybody in the sport, and they're messing with the wrong dogs.
And we got one of them here as well. Mark Jindrak has joined us in this disrespect that you young guys have. I think it goes with the fact that maybe you're following Vince Russo and his contingent around.
No, we're not following anybody. This is our time, Tony. It's our time.
I don't know, it looks to me, Mark, like you guys want the rub from Russo's boys. You want to elevate the natural-born Thrillers.
You know, take it how you may, but regardless, we're going to elevate either way. We're the natural-born Thrillers. We're genetic and athletic. Well, look at this, see?
We talked about the athleticism of Sean O'Hare.
That's the
impressive move.
6'6", 275, doing flips off the top rope.
Able to recover off the top rope, and the standing sidekick sends Rapata down to the mat.
After a beautiful 450. I mean, his athleticism can't be questioned. You know, the guy's obviously very talented. But like I said before, you can't take shortcuts to the top, and the Filthy Animals are going to be handling business very soon.
That nonchalant cover by Mr. O'Hare may come back to haunt him. Rapata hits the neck breaker.
Come on, Sean.
Flying forearm off the ropes to cover, and a 2 count did not hook the leg.
This kid over here, Rapata, he gave me a 2-piece the other day at Kentucky Fried Chicken. He's also a wrestler?
Yes. Are you sure it's the same guy?
Yes, I'm at a fast food place today.
You saw him at a fast food place?
Yeah, he gave me a free shake.
Off the crossbody. Got 2 and only a 2 count.
All right, put him away, Sean. Come on.
Mark Jindrak cheering on his natural-born Thrillers mate. And O'Hare just stopped Rapata right in his tracks. An awfully impressive clothesline.
It could have been me, but it wasn't me. I mean, don't compare me with a guy that's, making chicken sandwiches at Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, that ain't me. He's impressive, he's creative, he's strong, but he's still a cranberry just like you. You two couldn't tear up a chicken at a luau.
It's over. The pretty impressive and pretty creative hip toss. Look at the agility. O'Hare to the top. He's known for this top rope move called the Showtime Bomb, and he just hit it.
Hit him.
Look at the leg.
2.
And his Jindrak counts 3.
Well, when you guys want to face some real competition, not some guy that's, making chicken drumsticks for a living, come and call us.
Nonetheless, the natural-born Thrillers in the person of Sean O'Hare Well, the natural-born thrillers remain on the rise in World Championship Wrestling, and we will be back with more after this. And welcome back, everyone. Yes, we're counting down the days to the September WCW pay-per-view tradition that is Fall Brawl 2000. Sunday, September the 17th. Buffalo, New York is the location. Kevin Nash, Booker T for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Conan, certainly an interesting rivalry as of late between Kevin Nash and Booker T with the World's Heavyweight title upcoming at Fall Brawl.
Booker T's been in this company a long time, and this is his moment, and Kevin Nash is barking up the wrong tree. I mean, Big Sex is probably one of the toughest guys in the world, but Booker T's hungrier, a lot hungrier, and they're waking up a sleeping giant as far as I'm concerned.
Many people think that six-man tag team competition is among the most exciting of all matches in sports entertainment. And this is certainly a team that the Filthy Animals can relate to, especially because of their high-flying, high-risk aerial attack when it comes to the offense of the Young Dragons.
I respect everything that they bring to the ring because these kids put it on the line every single match.
And it's Kaz, it's Jamie Son, and it's Yang to do battle with the threesome of Brian McNeil,
now
Corey Williams, and Chris Harris.
I was just going to ask you what the name of these guys, Jabroni 1, 2, and 3, because you know what? I actually saw these guys at the same Kentucky Fried Chicken. I saw Mike Rapata.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the guy in the purple trunks and the guy outside were actually sweeping the trash. Oh, here, kitty.
You didn't see that at the KFC, did you?
No, I did not see that at the KFC.
That is Leia Meow, and Leia Meow has come out.
And she is looking fierce.
And she's going to keep the Young Dragons in line, Tony.
I don't think she wanted to come out at the time these three young men walked out, and she's very angry that she didn't accompany them to ringside here.
And it's Yang in the ring now against Corey Williams, and immediately goes for the pin. Maybe that was the inspiration immediately on the part of Leia Meow that has the Dragons fired up. Kaz put on the brakes and got nailed from behind by Williams. Boy, is that beautiful. Nice flip over. Brian McNeil comes in illegally. Kaz is ready for him.
Nice arm drag.
Chris Harris in as well illegally. Oh boy, communication problems.
Well, these guys have never wrestled together, and that's the problem.
Beautiful cross body off the top by Yang. But with three men in the ring,
now that's just stupidity.
The Young Dragons still able to avoid it. How about that move?
So I think that's out of Three Stooges a playbook.
And now Kaz and Yang in the ring. Jamie Son waiting on the ring apron.
Double moonsault. There we go. Boom. Nice.
Out of the Ultimo Dragon
Hayashi
playbook.
actually landed on a speaker. I don't know, he didn't break his ankle.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, that's spectacular by Jamie Son.
That was a pescado into a huracan on the outside. Beautiful.
And Leia Meow, all of a sudden, appears to be quite impressed with her tag team of the Dragons.
She fired them up, didn't she?
She was looking fierce, too.
Jamie Son off the ropes. Doubles over Chris Harris. Able to duck under and avoid the clothesline and connect with the Russian leg sweep. Quickly sprinting to the corner, springs off the middle ropes and hits the leg drop.
Twisting leg drop.
To the cover and a 2 count before Harris is able to avoid the pin.
Little guy Jamie Son can really go. I'll tell you, that move on the outside was spectacular. Got a lot of energy. Look at her. She is just in charge.
Many of these moves, Conan, reminiscent of the offense that we see from a Juventud Guerrera or a Rey Mysterio Jr. in your Filthy Animals group.
You got to remember, Kaz Hayashi worked in Mexico for many years in Promo Azteca, which is a promotion I was in. So he's brought that Mexican style, and I'm assuming the other two either learned from him or watched tape from Mexico.
As well as from Japan, as we see Chris Harris turn things over to Corey Williams. Williams in now against Jamie Son, trying to use the power and strength to their advantage, but the finesse moves of the Young Dragons, very difficult to counter.
Yeah, that was a...
Head scissors takeover beautifully executed. Now to the ring apron, the shoulder block from outside. And Jamie Son drives Williams headfirst into the top turnbuckle. Now mounts the top rope.
Oh boy.
That one backfired. Always a problem when you go high risk, Conan.
Yep, that's a chance you got to take, but when you hit it, the people love it. Oh.
Pump handle into a side slam by Williams.
Very creative.
Off the top comes Jamie Son to break up the pinfall attempt with the leg drop to the back of the head.
Reminiscent of Psychosis. Ooh.
Belly to belly. Chris Harris just planted Jamie Son. Well, meanwhile, from outside, Kaz hit the kick, and then comes springing in with a variation of the DDT.
Oh, he buried him. And here's Jabroni number 3.
It's Brian McNeil in the ring.
Jabroni 3. Okay,
Lifting
come on.
Kaz
He
high above
outweighs
his
him by
head.
like 300 pounds, and that's supposed to be a show of strength.
This is a show of strength.
Right. Oh, what was that?
A unique move. Dropping him, pile driver style on his head, and Yang scores the pin on McNeil. How about that?
Beautiful finishing maneuver. This guy may be out of wrestling for a while.
We knew that the Dragons had the technique, Tony, but now when you factor in Miss Meow, this is a tag team on the rise.
Yes, it is, Mike. You're right. And that kind of a reverse tombstone pile driver move. Wait a minute.
She's mad.
You guys are getting better, but you're not good enough.
What?
You know what to do now. Get down and lick my boot.
Lick her boots.
Do it.
What in the...
And he's obliging.
What
I
are you
would
laughing
too.
about?
I think we all would.
You're not.
Line 40
Hey,
to the right.
Leia.
Conan, put your
Leia,
hand down.
Can I go over there a minute? I just want to tell you
Conan's
something.
volunteering.
I just want...
No, stay right here at the broadcast
Lick
table.
my
Take a
boot.
minute, just a minute.
You don't understand English? Understand this. Get down.
Wow. He's forceful.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
Forceful?
Get
You
up.
might say dominating.
She's
Get up
teaching
now.
him
Come
humility.
on.
She is teaching him respect.
Stop.
Wow, what a camera shot that
Do you
was.
think she could teach the broadcast team? Let's send it back to the studio for a rundown of Fall Brawl 2000.
Thanks a lot. Give me that. Thanks a lot, guys. Fall Brawl is next weekend in Buffalo, and what a card it is. Here's the rundown. World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Kevin Nash defending against the former champion Booker T. Goldberg will do battle with Scott Steiner. They're going to tear each other apart in Buffalo. A bunkhouse brawl. The chosen one, Jeff Jarrett, hooks it up with Mike Awesomebrain.
Well, think about the guitars that Jeff Jarrett has. These are prized guitars given to him by Elvis, Chuck Berry, Jimi Hendrix, Morty Feldman. He's got guitars from people all over the world. And for him to get smashed in that truck and ruin those valuable things, these are heirlooms to him. Awesome's going to pay big time.
Was it an autographed Morty Feldman?
Well, of course. That's the only way he does business.
What a man Morty Feldman was. What a great Axeman Morty Feldman. Also, coming up at Fall Brawl, it's a Pittsburgh Plunge scaffold match. The franchise with Torrie Wilson, one-on-one, one more time with Billy Kidman. And what about this one? The Canadian/United States title will be at stake. Lance Storm defends against General Rection.
Now, General is pretty upset right now.
Very upset.
Obviously, Major Guns is MIA, missing in action.
She is.
Where do you think she is?
I have no idea.
She's someplace in Canada, I bet.
You've got it narrowed down pretty good there.
Think about it. She may be the puck girl for the Calgary Flames. You know, like they have a ball boy for basketball. She may be the girl that runs out on the ice and grabs the puck.
Puck girl, Major Guns, maybe
Are you
not.
ignoring me?
Every chance I get, Puck girl. Lance Storm and General Rection for the title at Fall Brawl. A three-way dance developing. Sting will do battle with the Great Muta and Vampiro. They call it a three-way dance. It sounds like a handicap matchup to me. And finally, just added a chain match. Chronic. Brian Adams and Brian Clark will tie up with the Harris boys. That and so much more to go down next weekend. It's Fall Brawl 2000 only on pay-per-view.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Worldwide Arena for an exclusive three-way female dance. Making her way to the ring, the special referee, Medusa. And if there's anyone, K-Dog, that can maintain law and order in a cat fight, it has to be Medusa.
Yeah, she can do that in a man's match, in a woman's match. You put her in any type of situation, she'll lay the law down.
Tony, this is a return match from a recent edition of Monday Nitro. And it seems as if Tigress and Paisley have some kind of an alliance. And it proved to be very beneficial to them recently on Nitro when they took out Major Guns.
Double teaming Major Guns, and I would think that Major Guns has a work cut out for her here in this three-way dance where it basically is every woman for herself. And here comes Tiger.
I'm sure K-Dog, you have a special rooting interest in this matchup, as Tigress is a very familiar factor of the Filthy Animals faction.
Well, first of all, I'm feeling this song because I helped write it and I rapped on it, Rey Mysterio Jr. But that's Ray's girl, you know what I mean? That's his honey. There's a lot of attitude in that ring right now, I'll tell you that.
And here comes the Guns. Major Guns obviously needs to have a different type of strategy if she's going to be successful than she did recently on Nitro. Because in that matchup, Paisley kicked her from behind, and that allowed Tigress to pin her in what was a relatively quick match, Tony. It was just a matter of seconds before that was over.
It was a matter of seconds. Now you've got Medusa in there, and you called it a cat fight, Mike, and I've known Medusa for a number of years. She resents you calling anytime ladies go in and hook it up a cat fight. So let's see exactly what goes on here. Oh, little double team action there.
Yeah, very similar to what we saw on Nitro when these three squared off. Now Tigress goes to the top rope, committed off the top and hits the crossbody. Got one, got two. Referee Medusa immediately down for the count, and Tigress almost scored another victory.
These girls mean business. You got 4 divas out there with a lot of attitude.
Oh, that one backfired. Paisley went for the back kick, and it caught Tigress.
She planted her, but good.
One thing you got to think about when Major Guns is out there, what's going through her mind? She, a member of MIA, but then had to kind of join Team Canada thanks to what happened recently on WCW Monday Nitro.
Well, she was forced to join Team Canada because of the stipulations of that prisoner of war match involving Lance Storm and the Misfits and Sergeant AWOL.
Yeah, so her mind must be elsewhere right now.
What a brutal clothesline that was by Paisley. But you know what? I wish all these girls were in thongs and they'd have like a gelatin and whipped cream match. Would that be possible, Tony?
I'm not so sure it'll be possible here.
I'm going to talk to the cat about that. And I'd like to referee that. Would you like to join me,
Yes,
Tony?
I would.
They would need it. They would need it, yeah.
Paisley off the middle rope with the spin kick.
Oh, what a kick.
Got one, got two, and got her.
Wow. That was almost easy. She's got to get rid of that little smack in the hip with the finger to the cheek. That's brutal.
They're not done yet, though. Wants to high five Tigress. Tigress said forget about it. She helped her stomp Major Guns down, and then that's a big win for Paisley in this return bout.
Paisley gets the victory in this female three-way dance. Let's take another look at the highlights of this matchup, Tony.
Up on top, look at this. This was the winning move. I mean, it caught her right across and down she went. 1, 2, 3.
Paisley scores the victory. We will be back with more exclusive Worldwide right after this.
That will wrap up this edition of WCW Worldwide, but don't forget, next weekend in Buffalo, New York, it's Fall Brawl 2000 on pay-per-view, and talk about 2 main events that will change the course of World Championship Wrestling. The World Heavyweight title on the line, Kevin Nash defending against Booker T. We thought Booker was going in as champion, Brain, but as we head to Fall Brawl, Kevin Nash has the gold.
It's a whole different ball game right now. You see, Kevin Nash now is the world champion. Kevin Nash doesn't have to beat Booker. Booker, you have to beat him to become champion. And Kevin Nash is 100%, and you're not. You're wounded. Oh yes, you have that determination in your heart. You have that endurance. You have that feeling for the people. Pick up your phone from home if you paid your bill this month and call in and say, I quit. Nash is too much for me.
Something tells me Booker T is not going to phone it in to Fall Brawl. Scott Steiner and Bill Goldberg will do battle next weekend on pay-per-view, and we're talking about 2 men who personally do not like each other. And this goes beyond the cliche of saying it's personal. These 2 men hate each other. We have seen injuries on both sides of this war. One of these 2 men may not walk out of Buffalo.
Let me give you a little psychology lesson here about wrestling. When I was a wrestler, I never hated anybody. I still don't hate anybody. I let them think I hated them, but I didn't want to hate anybody, because when you hate, you can't think right. You can't operate right. I'll tell you something, Goldberg and Steiner, they hate each other. They really hate each other. And they're not going to think rationally. They're going to go out there and try to tear each other's heads off.
It may get ugly. I take that back. It will get ugly in Buffalo. Next weekend, it's Fall Brawl 2000. Nash and Booker for the world title. Goldberg and Steiner, so much more. We will have late-breaking Fall Brawl news next week on this broadcast. For Bobby the Brain Heenan, I'm Scott Hudson. See you here next week on WCW Worldwide.
And you know ugly. I've seen the Kolaski triple. Well, maybe I should. No, what is it?
Welcome to WCW Worldwide and welcome to Fall Brawl Weekend. I'm Scott Hudson, joined as always by Bobby the Brain Heenan, and it's this weekend on pay-per-view from Buffalo. Fall Brawl 2000. Much more about that later on, but two things we're going to see in this broadcast. Bret Hart is back in World Championship Wrestling, and we will hear from the Hitman. He blames Goldberg for what may very well be the end of Bret Hart's career. But Brain, I want your thoughts on this. When Nitro invaded Big D, Dallas, Texas, it was Russo's revenge.
You know, that's all I hear. Everybody's blaming Russo for this and blaming Russo for that. They're saying he's the man behind Kevin Nash. He's the man protecting Nash. He's the man making sure Nash doesn't have to defend the title that often. No, that's not true. Nash has earned his stripes in this business. Nash is 7 feet tall, well over 300 pounds. He's no rookie. He's no amateur. He's earned his way. And I guess Russo's behind everything. Yeah, I guess when you go to his house, he's got mirrors, he's got pictures, and the eyes move, and there's secret panels, and the drapes go back and forth. Oh, he's behind a lot of things. Really a haunting.
The haunting of Vince Russo later in this broadcast, but don't forget exclusive worldwide action. For a preview, here's Mike Tenay, Tony Schiavone, and Conan.
Boo.
Boo.
And it's another big week on WCW Worldwide. It's Fall Brawl Weekend, and Tony, this Sunday, it's going to be the World's Heavyweight title on the line. Kevin Nash to defend against Booker T.
How much more can Booker T do? He was the world champion, and of course, thanks to the antics of one Vince Russo, no longer the champ, then the big cage match. And Kevin Nash is still the WCW champion. But this Sunday, Mike Conan, he has a chance now to remedy all the wrongs and get the world title back.
And Conan, also this Sunday at Fall Brawl, the one-on-one matchup that the world has been anticipating, Goldberg to face Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner.
Goldberg and Steiner, everybody's waiting for that match. The wrestlers, the fans, the wrestling community. It's got to happen. Scott Steiner's never been world champion. He wants that title. Bill Goldberg wants his title back. But before they do that, I think they got something to prove. Who's the baddest, who's the toughest, who's the meanest, and we'll find out.
And speaking of title bouts, this week exclusively on Worldwide, Corporal Cajun to challenge for the Cruiserweight title. Now let's send it to Mean Gene, who's standing by with the Misfits and the Corporal.
Thank you, Mike. Today, still to come this week here on WCW Worldwide, it is going to be a Cruiserweight title defense for Prime Time. He's going to be facing Corporal Cajun, joined by the Misfits in action this week, General Rection, Sergeant AWOL, and of course, Lieutenant Loco. Big opportunity for you, Corporal Cajun.
Mean Gene, you see this shirt right here? 100% American, and maybe just a little bit Cajun, you know. But what I got is an opportunity to represent all of the United States. So me and the boys from MIA, we're going to laisser les bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll.
All right, General, I must say, your man very, very confident, but what a coup that would be to get the Cruiserweight title.
What a coup is right, Gene. What you're looking at here is the next Cruiserweight champion. Your mission this week is to bring that belt home.
You mean back to the bayou?
Bring the belt back where it belongs.
Oh, to the prop truck.
Oh, please, General, these guys are out of control.
Gene, along with the Cruiserweight strap, Lance Storm, don't forget, U.S. title match, Fall Brawl. Misfits in Action now stands for Made in America.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Folks, stay tuned. Corporal Cajun challenging Primetime for the WCW title. Right now, let's get you back into the arena for more action.
And thanks very much, Gene. Conan, the Misfits in Action have certainly been creating a lot of havoc as of late in WCW.
Well, you know, they're a talented bunch, and they're going up against that Canadian faction. They're proud to be Americans, and they're going to get their grind on, get their mash on, and, you know, they're going to represent the United States.
And, Tony, the opportunity is there for Corporal Cajun this week on Worldwide when he challenges for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship.
The opportunity is there, but let's not forget Prime Time is the cruiser or the 100 kilo and under champion. Even though he was given the belt, Mike, I really think Prime Time is a fine champ. It's going to be a very tough match for him this week on Worldwide.
He certainly has proven himself as a champion. We'll see how he does this week on Worldwide. Now let's send it back to the studio.
Time now for AskWCW.com. Here are the rules. They're quite simple. Point your browser to WCW.com. Find the worldwide link. Send us your question via email. If we use it on the air and you send us your snail mail address, we'll send you a free WCW t-shirt. This week our question,
Bobby Heenan for Scott Steiner, please.
The magic button. It's working this week, by the way. I'll accept your gratitude later on. It's from Jason Speed in Clayton, Georgia. Jason has a question for the Demon. His question is this. Are you a big fan of KISS? And if so, how does it feel to represent them in World Championship Wrestling? Great question. Jason, here's your answer from the KISS Demon.
Yeah, Jason, I am a huge KISS fan. I've been a KISS fan ever since this album right here came out. I was about 5 years old when my brother brought home the Destroyer album for the first time. So I've been a huge KISS fan since probably the time, like I said, 5 years old until now. I had the KISS posters, have all the albums, gone to all the concerts. We both are KISS fans. Went to see this reunion tour probably about 4 or 5 times so far. And representing them in the ring is just an honor for me because I was a huge Gene Simmons fan. Gene was the guy that I looked up to as a kid and emulated since the time I was a little kid. I used to dress up as him for Halloween and win lip sync contests because I looked just like him back then and still do, obviously, as you see. So it is a true honor to represent the band KISS. It is the true greatest band in the world.
I'm right there with you, Demon. I've been a fan of KISS.
Let me answer this question for Jason here.
He's already answered it.
Let me answer it the proper way. First of all, you know why the Demon dresses a lot like KISS? Because he likes KISS, dummy. Why do you think he dressed like that? Because you all the Dixie Chick outfits at the local store? No, because he's a fan of KISS. There's your answer, dummy. Just a minute, I got Mr. Steiner. Rick, Bobby Heenan. Yeah, how you doing? Heenan. Yeah, Bobby Heenan. I was wondering, Bobby, B-O-B-B-Y. Yes, I was the brain. I was gonna ask you a question about Goldberg. We're here right now on Worldwide. Just a minute. Wait a minute, don't touch it.
Mike today,
Wait,
Tony Schiavone, and Conan are standing by. Now it's on.
Thanks very much, guys. It's a big weekend for World Championship Wrestling. The September pay-per-view tradition is this Sunday. It's Fall Brawl from Buffalo, New York, and yes, we will be talking about that big event during the course of the matchups here on Worldwide. One-on-one bout with Ruben Cruz to face a man who's coming back from a severe injury. I understand that as a result of the recent attack by the franchise Shane Douglas, when he took Crowbar, when he tossed him from the balcony, that Crowbar suffered several broken ribs, Tony.
Several broken ribs, but that's not going to stop him. You know, the guy is bizarre as Crowbar. Look at this. He landed on that broken rib cage.
What is he thinking, K-Dog?
This kid's a maniac. I don't know what's wrong with him. I can't believe he's back this quick. He was in the hospital last time I saw him about 2 weeks ago. Shouldn't be out here. But he loves pain. He loves action.
And you talked about the maniac that is Crowbar. You can't deny the fact that he's not only ready to come back even faster than we expected, but Conan, you have to appreciate the high risk and the athletic ability of the incredible moves that Crowbar brings to the ring.
Well, he doesn't. It looks like he does stuff without rhyme or reason, but there's really a game plan behind this guy. You know, he's been doing very well, but already this kid's going to the ribs. He's young, but he's smart. Ruben Cruz already going after Crowbar's ribs.
And one wonders, Tony, if that doesn't telegraph the fact that you have the injured ribs by wearing that wrap around the midsection. Certainly Ruben Cruz knows that was taking advantage of it.
For all we know, he could be faking a rib injury. Maybe his knee's bad. You don't know with Crowbar. You know what I mean?
Scoop and a slam. Quick to follow up the advantage. Crowbar looks for the crowd, and this is amazing to me as well as he drops the leg. How the fans have really reacted to Crowbar and have sort of taken him under as one of their own out of the ring apron.
They respect his athleticism. They respect his effort, his ethic. Look at him.
The slingshot into the leg drop. Got two and Ruben Cruz able to kick out at the last split second. Very close that time. Crowbar on the verge of a victory.
He may dive outside. Look at him. He's asking the people for their approval, and they're saying, yeah, do it.
Turn him
Go
loose.
ahead.
Crowbar
Bam.
goes airborne with a well-placed drop kick between the ropes and then skins the cat to get back into the ring. Then goes to the slingshot into a cross-body block, and take a look at Crowbar. You see him favoring those ribs as he made contact with Cruz.
Now a man like that can continue to perform. It would seem to me that even that skin the cat maneuver would hurt a rib cage. But now they're chanting his name.
Of course, Crowbar, not only the physical injuries, but guys, also the mental injuries as well. The situation with Daphne, who had accompanied him to the ring for so long, and the fact that she has a boyfriend by the name of Ozzy that has to play on him as well. And how's that for timing?
Wow. Who actually looks a lot like Crowbar.
Almost amazing, isn't it, as Daphne and Ozzy head down towards the ring area.
And that is an amazing story. The fact is that if she was looking for someone, she found someone that looked a lot like Crowbar, and Crowbar was under her nose the entire time.
Maybe Crowbar just didn't take advantage of that situation and let Daphne know his true feelings, K-Dog.
Well, I saw him with Flowers. He's kind of shy with the women, I mean, but, you know, I almost think like she's making fun of him. If I were him, I'd go out there, pop that guy in the face, and kick the wheels of her, tell her, hey, you know what? I think we should be a couple.
Ruben Cruz picks him up and drives him down to the mat with that slam. Again, working on the ribs for the cover and a 2 count.
Okay, in the midst of all this, Ruben Cruz has come to fight. You mentioned earlier, K-Dog. He's giving a good showing here tonight.
Cruz is putting up a good fight because Crowbar is an experienced young veteran. Bam, base drop. Almost a variation of my face buster.
He calls that the mind bender. He connected with that move, that front suplex, dropping Cruz on his face.
Just bended his jawline. Bam, 2-3 hard shots to the jaw.
A couple of shots right into the jaw, and then smart move by Cruz. This ability, look at this agility from
with
Crowbar.
Bad ribs, Tony.
Back into the ring. Hit the belly to back suplex.
Beautiful execution on that suplex.
Quick scoop and a slam. Crowbar again to the ring apron. Now what? Slingshot again. Into the crossbody. Hooks the leg. Got two, and did he get the shoulder up? Yes, he did.
And he's landed on the grids at least 15 times so far.
Look at the distraction at ringside with Daphne and Ozzy.
Do you think Cruz is in on this?
Anything's possible.
Cruz actually sold me a burrito at Taco Bell earlier today, so if he loses, he's going back to his job. It ain't that bad.
You sure that was him?
That was him.
Thrown over by Crowbar.
He's actually wearing the same outfit.
Dragon Sleeper applied.
Oh, nice. You haven't seen that in a while.
In ages. Takes him down. Cruz trying to fight it off.
Is he going out? He's got that
Pressure continues to be
circulation.
applied. Referee Jamie Tucker checking. 2. No, he was able to fight it off.
Oh, there you go.
Straight down out of the Dragon Sleeper for 2 and got him.
I'm telling you, he doesn't do stuff for no rhyme or reason. Crowbar wins.
There's a method to his madness. That's
yes,
what you're
there
telling
is.
me.
I wish he'd pop that guy in the face.
What do you mean, that guy? That guy?
Ozzy.
Ozzy.
Yeah. Is
And
he a
Daphne.
wrestler? What is he?
Well, they're out here cheering for Crowbar. I guess in their own mind, they came out to show him some emotional support here, but look at the face of Crowbar. I think that says it all. And Daphne has
putting it in his face.
Hand in hand as they walk to the back. Crowbar scores the victory, and we will be back with more after this on WCW Worldwide. And welcome back, everyone. Another exclusive matchup on Worldwide. Yes, it's Fall Brawl weekend. It's this Sunday. WCW invades Buffalo, New York. Goldberg versus Steiner. Certainly a one-on-one matchup we've all been anticipating when Goldberg gets to face off with Big Papa Pump.
It'll be a match of pain. You kind of wonder exactly what's going to happen and what it's going to take to win the matchup between Goldberg and Steiner. I don't think winning or losing is even in the equation coming up this Sunday.
There's a lot of animosity between these two great athletes, and you know what? I, for one, I'm waiting to see this. Let me kick the reels. That's going to be a great match, Tony.
Well, here is one of your mates in the Filthy Animals. Disco, who gives the fist sign here to K-Dog at the broadcast position.
He's coming over here.
That's my dog right there.
Of course he is.
Okay, what we got?
What's this about?
I'm gonna put on a clinic with this kid tonight.
Let's take notes then.
Take notes, okay. I got my pen ready.
Put on a clinic?
Yeah, this kid right here is supposed to be very good, and he's also went to Harvard. I don't know what he went to. Maybe swept floors or something.
You're talking about Jeremy Sage, who's the opposition provided this week on Worldwide for Disco, who sends him off into the ropes and doubled him over with the boot to the midsection.
Oh, nice neck breaker.
A beautiful spinning neck breaker.
Give him the gorilla walk.
The what?
He told me he was going to give him the gorilla walk after the neck breaker.
Well, it looked like it when he went down into that position, and then he never followed through. Can you imagine that from Disco?
He got excited. People popped for once.
Was that what it was?
There we go. Gorilla walk, gorilla walk, gorilla walk. Yeah. Bam.
Face breaker after the gorilla walk.
After the gorilla walk. There you go. Good.
Yeah, okay, we're taking notes on this clinic, pal.
And he really is performing quite well.
Hey, Disco's an experienced veteran. That's why he's in the filthy animals.
He's saying here at the broadcast table.
There you go, D.I.
Face first.
There you go, D.I. There you go.
Is it D.I. or just D now that he's just playing Disco?
D.I.
Always will be D.I.
The ropes go Sage. Tries to turn things around. Forearms delivered to the lower back. Takes him up.
Oh, nice.
Form, I guess, of an inverted DDT that time.
That's exactly what it was.
Dropped Disco down, and then Sage immediately gets up and puts the boots to him.
And this kid's showing a little grit right now, but you know what? Disco's got more weight on him, more experience, more charisma, more talent, more everything. Kid's outclassed.
Did you say more weight?
More weight. Outweighs him.
I understand.
All right.
Sage out of the corner, goes now for the cover, hooks the leg, gets two, and Disco got the shoulder up.
Not enough, son. Not enough.
Just didn't wear Disco down enough to go for that pinfall attempt.
Kid's nervous. He's badly dressed. Doesn't know how to lace his boots. I mean, he's a mess.
All of the above.
Everything.
I wonder if this is part of the clinic.
Wow. Oh, nice.
Off the suplex,
Is that a fisherman suplex? Hey, Disco, wake up. Quit playing around. Let's go. This kid's out here trying to make a name for himself.
It's no longer a clinic by Disco.
Yeah.
He's being taken to school by Jeremy Sage.
It's all over with, is what Sage.
Pretty confident.
What column are you putting these notes in, Mike? Is this the...
I'm writing them on a matchbook. And I've got plenty of room left over.
Is this the Disco? The Disco is down column is what it is.
Boom. Here we go. Uh-oh, look at Disco.
Sage committed himself when he went to the top.
Boom.
Did not connect, and now the opportunity is there for Disco. He just connected with the back elbow. Variation here of the Cobra.
Into Russian leg sweep. Bam.
Nice.
That was nice.
New moves from Disco. Two and... Only two.
You know, regardless of what great moves you can use, not to be overly critical, but you make a lame attempt like that for a cover, you're not going to cover a guy that can knock him out.
Sage with the go behind. The back elbow caught him, then able to duck the clothesline from Disco.
Oh, that's it. That's it. He actually calls this the last dance, which I hate that name. This will be the... I don't know. This will be the last time I call it the last dance. I'll tell you that. One for the filthy animals.
Yeah, we took notes. You're right.
Looking over here to get approval from his filthy animals mate, Conan.
Yeah, we did.
It's a blank piece of paper. There's all the notes that you need.
Look at him sweating off into paradise. Do your thing, boy.
And welcome back, everyone. Six-man tag team action exclusively for you on WCW Worldwide. Yes, it's Fall Brawl weekend. And Conan, it's this Sunday when the world's heavyweight title is at stake. Kevin Nash and Booker T.
You know what? Kevin Nash is not giving Booker T his proper respect. And Booker T is the type of guy that's going to go out there and demand respect. So we're going to find out who the real champion is this week. Because you know what? Kevin Nash has been champion, 3, 4, 5 times already in different federations. This is Booker's first time. We'll find out.
I guess it's performance time.
Hold on
for
to your
3 count.
girlfriends, because all you guys, we're going to sing and break it down for your ladies.
Yeah, and don't you forget, eventually everybody goes down for the 3 count.
Can't wait to get Conan's review of this. Shannon Moore, Shane Helms, flanking the man in the middle, Evan Courageous. It's time for the 3 count to strut their stuff, K-Dog.
Well, the honeys love him. The guys hate him. But
I think the honeys love him.
Yeah, the honeys, they get a lot of claims at Discos. I always see them out there, they grind on and whatever. And I kind of like them. I think they're kind of cool.
You know, Tony, you're a big proponent of this style of music.
Well, I certainly like the pop music. Big fans of NSYNC in our entire home, but these guys are not NSYNC. As a matter of fact, these guys are not even Tank Abbott.
They're not an NSYNC league, but I give them an A for effort. They come out here and they get their grind on. And plus, they're great athletes, great wrestlers.
Yes, they are.
That's the bottom line.
Michael Shane, Chris Kruger, and Rob Diggs to face 3 count. and it's on.
Well, which one's Freddy Krueger?
No, Chris Krueger, he's the one with the red hair in the ring right now battling Evan Courageous.
You got one guy with CK on his tights, like if he was Calvin Klein. You got that must be Chris Krueger, right?
Very good.
Okay, pretty observant.
Excellent deduction.
Yeah. Who's the kid with the pants on with the bowling shoes? Oh, Air Hoovy, boom! Wow.
Bowling shoes.
Or whatever that was, boom.
That was Michael Shane who just went airborne. Meanwhile, in the ring, this is Shannon Moore up in a fireman's carry, actually an airplane spin by Krueger, who drops down and goes for the lateral
Way
press.
too early for the cover, way too early. That's an experience right there, Tony.
That's an experience, but I think sometimes these young guys, Conan, fresh out of school, out of training, are taught to try to get a win whenever you can. It's not a bad idea. Sometimes they can slip up and get one quicker.
Well, definitely. I watch old matches of myself, and I used to do the same thing, so it's easy for me to talk. And, you know, they're probably nervous going against 3 count. But, hey, they're putting on a good show. What was that?
Interesting move by Rob Diggs. Slingshot into a well-placed headbutt.
Yeah, to the groin area or something.
Double
people
team.
actually hate 3 count.
Double team action here continues. 3 count, able to stop it from the outside.
Nice.
How's that for a great move?
One of the most innovative moves I've ever seen. Up on the shoulder, turning into a flying neck breaker.
Sugar
Nice.
Shane quickly in to connect with that neck breaker. And now things have turned in favor of 3 count, and Shannon Moore is going to turn things over to Evan Courageous.
Evan's probably the most experienced of the 3 in parentheses, because I only think he's got like 3 years in the business. But hey, these guys, you know, they're like a well-oiled machine. They know each other and they feed off each other's energy.
Quick snap suplex on Michael Shane, and now Courageous heads to the top. Comes off and drops the elbow across the chest of Shane.
And he's still hurting from a dislocated ankle. You know that.
Doesn't seem to be favoring it, however, in this 6-man tag team matchup.
Look how tightly wrapped it is. You can see the difference, the black tape all around the right ankle.
Shane Helms up on the top. What a sunset flip, incredible elevation.
And very graceful. This kid's got to tag in, the kid in the bowling shoes. What's his name?
It's Michael Shane, who just received a tremendous super kick from Sugar Shane, and now Rob Diggs sent down to the arena floor by Shane as well.
Came over here to say hi. How you doing?
Now referee Silverman has lost all control when 3 count immediately just pulls their way into the ring. Now this is unique.
Triple suplex.
Triple suplex on 2 men. Krueger and Shane both go over for the suplex. Now Diggs takes Shane Helms back out to the arena floor. Fight continues outside as well as inside. Krueger and Shane just connected with a great double team move. Bodies everywhere here in the Worldwide Arena in this wild 6-man tag team matchup.
Some kid went flying out of the ring. The other guy got thrown to the guardrail. This guy just got put on his mug. I mean, they're all over these 3.
Yeah, we're seeing 3 count guys as aggressive, more aggressive than we've seen in a long time.
They are mad.
Triple team on Krueger.
Boom.
Driving face first to the canvas. For the cover. Helms gets the pin. 2 and got it.
Good work, good work.
Sometimes, regardless of what you bring, you may be a step off, but if you're aggressive and you use aggression, you can work through it. That's what happened there.
And they are getting on the crowd, and the crowd's getting on them. There's no love lost between the crowd and these guys.
Nonetheless, 3 count victorious in this 6-man tag team matchup on Worldwide. They put it together, and they score the victory in this 6-man matchup over Shane, Krueger, and Diggs. And now let's send it back to the studio. We're going to update the lineup for Fall Brawl 2000.
Sunday, September 17th, it is Fall Brawl 2000 from Buffalo. World Heavyweight Championship at stake. The champion, Kevin Nash, defends against the former champion, Booker T. Will Russo run interference for his fair-haired boy at Fall Brawl? Goldberg one-on-one with Scott Steiner. Who will survive in Buffalo on pay-per-view? Brain, let me get your thoughts on this. Bunkhouse Brawl on pay-per-view, Jeff Jarrett and Mike Awesome.
Well, Mike Awesome likes to consider himself the career killer. But with Russo in the picture, like you say, he's going to watch Jarrett's back. It could be the end of his career, Mr. Awesome.
What will Russo have in store for Mike Awesome in Buffalo at Fall Brawl 2000? You got a call. How about a chain match?
Hello?
Finally, it's going to be settled at Fall Brawl. Chronic and the Harris boys, but don't forget, Kevin Nash defends the title against Booker T. Mark your calendar and make the appropriate telephone call right now. It's Fall Brawl, September 17th from World Championship Wrestling.
It's a girl. Darby? 41 pounds?
And welcome back, everyone, to this exclusive WCW Worldwide matchup. And it's title time this week on Worldwide. There you see the man, K-Dog, who was handed the WCW Cruiserweight Championship by Lance Storm as part of Team Canada. We're speaking of primetime Elix Skipper. And while he may have been handed that championship belt, you have to give him some credit because Primetime has maintained that hold on the championship.
He's done an excellent job with that belt, and you know what I like about him is his athleticism, his creativity. He reminds me a lot of Juventud and Rey Mysterio, two of the more creative guys in this company. And this is going to be a great match because here comes Captain Crunch or Corporal Cage or whatever his name is.
You got it right the second time. The Misfits in action have certainly had quite an impact as of late in World Championship Wrestling, led by General Rection. As you see Corporal Cajun make his way into the ring in the role of the challenger. Tony, the way that the Misfits have been on a roll as of late, I guess it's only natural that Corporal Cajun gets a shot at the title.
Well, they have declared war on all of Team Canada and, of course, primarily the United States, or Canadian, if you will, heavyweight champion Lance Storm, who this Sunday will put that belt up against General Rection, the leader of MIA, now redubbed Made in America, as well as Misfits in Action. But this very bizarre, this oddball named Corporal Cajun really has to focus because, K-Dog, you're right, the athleticism, the creativity that his Primetime has really been showing through in his matches.
Yeah, and don't cut Captain Crunch short either. He's another creative guy who always goes out there and he comes up with an innovative move. But the thing that I wanted to note is, can you imagine Crowbar and Corporal Cajun as a team? Those are two zany characters right there.
Couple of oddballs, you're right.
Who'd be able to rein him in? Who'd be able to control him, or would you want to?
They'd probably be fighting over who pinned the guy. But enough of that. These two guys, I think, have less than 3 years in the business. I think they're both out of the power plant, and already they're making their name known in the cruiserweight division. Boom.
High hip toss takeover by the Corporal on Primetime. Scoop and a slam. Putting together the moves, taking advantage from one to the other, and not letting up on your opponent. Connects with the drop kicks.
There goes that experience, not letting him rest and feeding off the crowd. Look at that. That's very important. Don't feed too much because Elix will be back in before you know it.
Primetime, Elix Skipper in trouble out here on the arena floor while the crowd chants USA. And you talked about the Misfits in action. MIA is definitely Made in America. This almost a little bit of a taste of what we're going to see this Sunday at Fall Brawl when that U.S. title is on the line. Team Canada to face the Misfits in action, and Lance Storm to defend against the General Rection. Nice move by Skipper.
And that's going to be a great match because it's also on the border of Canada, so you have a lot of Canadian fans going to the matches as well as a lot of American fans. So I think a lot of split crowd there for the action.
I think that's a good point.
Oh, nice.
We certainly anticipated that great Canadian reaction in Vancouver, but we have to also consider that in Buffalo, New York, Lance Storm is going to have his share of fans.
Did you see that bridge that Elix Skipper just did? I call that the Matrix because it looks like that scene in the Matrix when Reeves is ducking the bullets and goes into like a bridge type thing.
Drops the elbows repeatedly, hooks the leg, and gets a 2 count on Corporal Cajun, who is able to kick out.
And people are all over Elix Skipper. They don't like him or his faction. Nice suplex.
Belly to bell, planted the Corporal. Doesn't follow up with a pin attempt, now finally does, too, and maybe it was that moment of indecision. You talked about the fact that these are relatively inexperienced wrestlers. I think it may have cost him
that showed right there. And Cajun taking over the support of the people. Boom. Cut him off.
Stopped him right in his tracks, that well-placed knee to the midsection. Primetime sends the Corporal in, who slides between the legs.
Oh.
Running with a series of punches. Right hand's on the button. Drops down. And comes up and connects with the lariat. That was a little Bourbon Street Blues for everybody.
Oh.
Nice bridging belly to back. Got 2 and so close to having a new WCW Cruiserweight champion, or 100 kilos and under as Team Canada refers to it.
I think he'd win it, he'd bring it back, and he'd rename it the Cruiserweight title.
Whoa.
Great elevation with the back body drop.
I mean, these guys are putting everything on the line. Great match. Great match.
Wait a minute. We've seen in the past that he's gone into the trunks and put on that Grey Cup ring, claiming to be a Canadian Football League champion. Corporal able
Cajun
to
has
duck
scouted
it.
him. He scouted him.
Cut him with a boot to the midsection. Cajun takes him up, connects with the atomic drop.
Now, didn't the ref search these guys before they started the match?
Out of the fireman's carry.
Oh, rake to the eyes.
He caught him with that ring.
Did he get him?
He nailed it.
No, I think he raked him. He might have raked him. Thumb to the eye. Now he's faking an injury or something.
You can see the
The
ring.
ref caught him. The ref caught him.
All right, that's a good move.
That's it. Disqualify him.
Mark Johnson,
Nice.
big roll up. Got one, got two.
Oh! Great match. They are putting their all out.
Again on the verge of victory. Corporal Cajun coming so close to wresting that cruiserweight title belt away from primetime healing skipper. Oh, off the ropes. He telegraphed the back body drop and he paid for it.
This is just back and forth, and nobody can really get a leverage, Tony.
No one can get a lever. Oh, wait a minute. Overdrive.
Oh!
That's the move that he called the overdrive. Got two and yes, finally retains the championship belt. Team Canada remains in possession of the WCW Cruiserweight title belt.
And they got a big win. For primetime, he is still the champ, Mike Tenay.
He certainly is, and when we return, more exciting action on WCW Worldwide.
And welcome back to WCW Worldwide. It's time for our 1-800-COLLECT replay. And we go back to WCW Thunder. Bret the Hitman Hart has made a career of elevating professional wrestling to another level. That career may be over. And Bret Hart has blamed Goldberg for what may be the end of one of the most stellar careers in the history of professional wrestling. This is from Thunder. It's our 1-800-COLLECT replay. 1-800-COLLECT. It's the easy way to save.
Collect.
A very emotional Bret the Hitman Hart. He blames Goldberg for what happened to him, and I think he may have a case.
Well, you know, it's his head, it's his neck, it's his injury. It's not mine. I don't feel his pain. I know he comes from a wrestling family, and a lot of people are saying he's crying, and he shouldn't be doing that. He should be like a man and take what injuries we've had. Well, I mean, it happens, and it happens to a lot of people, so I'm not sure he's crying or not.
Let's talk a bit about Goldberg and Scott Steiner. When we last saw them in that bit, we saw Goldberg brutally attacked by Big Papa Pump. How would you like to be Scott Steiner in Buffalo this weekend at Fall Brawl 2000? No Pearl Harbor attack, face to face, mano on mano, Scott Steiner and Goldberg, regardless of what Bret Hart says.
And remember this, Bret. There's no crying in wrestling. Are you crying? Are you sniffling?
Don't forget.
There's no crying in wrestling.
It's this weekend.
Roller derby, there's crying.
Is there crying in roller derby?
I don't know. I've never skated.
I missed that show. It is Fall Brawl 2000 in Buffalo. It's Booker and Nash, Steiner and Goldberg, and so much more. Don't miss it. We'll see you at Fall Brawl. And for Bobby the Brain Heenan, I'm Scott Hudson. We'll see you next week right here on WCW Worldwide.
Don't cry.
Are you crying?